You know, as an artist, searching for inspiration can be so hard. It can be frustrating. It can be one of the most frustrating parts about any form of art, whether you're a painter, actor, songwriter. But sometimes, inspiration will show up right at your front door. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, music lovers, especially my rock music lovers. That's right. When I think of 90s rock music, well, you can kind of break it down a few ways. One of which I'll say you had a lot of bands that thrived in the 80s. I mean, the 80s rock scene was something unique, something special. And as they rolled into a new decade, I mean, you really had the fans craving somewhat of a different sound. Not that they didn't love what they got from the bands in the 80s, but it was time for something new. And the music industry felt the same way, and they made sure they pushed a new sound. And that would help kind of guide the way for the early 90s grunge movement, which was an explosion that took the world by storm. And forever cemented itself as one of those moments in rock history that was absolutely great. And then you kind of get to the mid to late 90s and you had a lot of those post-grunge bands that, well, they really helped pave the way as you would roll into the early 2000s for what the new sound of rock would be moving forward. Now, as it pertains to those bands that helped guide the way to that music that would just, well, change the landscape altogether for rock and roll, and we would eventually label that sound as grunge, you know, bands like Pearl Jam, they were huge and very influential in that movement. And that is why, I mean, well, again, as it stands today, that's one of the most iconic moments on the timeline of rock and roll music history. And, well, for big reason. It was something new, something fresh, and absolutely Pearl Jam was a very, very huge part of that. You know, Pearl Jam's 1991 debut album, 10, was one of the biggest albums to come out of that grunge movement. I mean, in fact, it might be, as far as album sales and impact, well, impact's a tough one. We can't say it had the biggest impact because it really depends on the individual. Because would I say that? No. But if you're talking about certifications and all around gross of the album over the years, you could say it had the biggest impact. But all-time great album in the grunge movement. In fact, an all-time great rock and roll album, period. You know, Pearl Jam's 10 was certified all over the world, literally all over the world. Here in the United States, it was certified 13 times platinum. I mean, huge, iconic album. Every song on that album, in my opinion, was a great song. It's one of those albums that personally I can listen to from start to finish. And am I going to say that I love every song as much as the one before or after it? No. There are very few albums I can listen to every track and actually enjoy every one of them with great pleasure. But Pearl Jam's 10, I can't listen to the entire album and I can be happy. But I'll tell you this, it came with some iconic tracks. I mean, there are 4 singles: Oceans, Even Flow, Alive, and the one we're going to talk about today, Jeremy. So Jeremy was the 3rd single released off Pearl Jam's 10, and I'll be honest with you, it just added fuel to a huge fire. A fire that was already burning out of control. People were loving Pearl Jam. They were loving everything coming out of Seattle at that time. And for good reason. It was badass music. But not only that, I mean, if you turned it on MTV in late 1992 or for the next couple years after that, you were guaranteed to turn it on that channel and you had a high probability of seeing the music video for the song Jeremy. I mean, in fact, if you turned it on the station and watched it for a few hours throughout the day, I mean, without changing it, you probably could see the video anywhere up to 4 to 5 times. And I am not kidding about that. Now, if you listen to the song Jeremy by Pearl Jam and even put it together with the music video, the great music video that they did make for that song, you really have to look at your reality. Look at your world and try to identify who is Jeremy in your world. And if you can identify who that person is, then you need to reach out to them and let them know that they're not alone. That somebody's here for them if they need anything. And honestly, if you look at your world and you get to that point and you tell yourself, well, I'm Jeremy, then you need to really reach out and find somebody to talk to, because you do not want what's going on up here to just live inside there 24/7 without letting anything out. Because by that point, you'll let it fester in there so long that it'll just build up till the pressure's too much and you blow. You know, when you talk about lyrics for a song, we can look at a song and we can find plenty of examples out there where it's just a 100% blunt, direct message where the lyrics say exactly what the song's meant to display to its audience. And that's great. But then you got songs where it's built off an inspiration, where you can find out what the song is about, what inspired it, but the lyrics don't always go hand in hand where you're like, okay, well, I get that's where they got the inspiration from. Sometimes you have no idea. But those kind of songs are really left up to audience interpretation, and that's the beauty of the art. You can hear those lyrics, and if you can hear those lyrics from a song and make it seem like it is speaking to you, it's about you. This song is for you. And sometimes when you hear songs like that, it just makes you feel less alone in the world. So inspiration for Jeremy really stems from an unfortunate reality. A reality that we deal with on a daily basis. There's so many crazy things that go on in this world, and unfortunately, sometimes we hear something so often that we've kind of become numb to it to an extent that it's became the norm, which is not cool whatsoever. You know, these mass shootings, these murders, these suicide bombs, so many crazy damn things that we hear it, we feel it for a moment, some longer than others, and we move on with life, which we should always be able to move on with life. You never want to let something you can't change bring you down. But as it pertains to Jeremy and its inspiration, now myself, I currently reside not too far from Richardson, Texas. Now, it was Richardson High School in Richardson, Texas back in 1991 that a 15-year-old sophomore named Jeremy Wade Dell was attending school there. Now, one day he went to class and was asked by his teacher to leave and go get an attendance letter because he had missed class the day before. So he left, and when he comes back, well, he says, and I quote, as he stands in front of his peers, his classmates, his teacher, he says, "I got what I really meant to get." And as he says that, he has a gun in his hand, and he turns it on himself and commits suicide in front of everybody. 15 years old. Now, in this day and age, it wouldn't surprise you one bit to say a 15-year-old or somebody anywhere near that age went to a school and instead of turning the gun on himself, turns it on others. But sadly, that's just the reality. It's the reality we live in. And that's why I say, who is that Jeremy? In this case, it was a Jeremy. And that's why the inspiration for the song and eventually the title of the song was Jeremy. You know, who is that in this world? Can we reach out to him before something like this happens? And Pearl Jam was so much of a huge impact on the early 90s rock music, the grunge scene, and just rock and roll in general. And Jeremy is one of those iconic songs that, you know, even if you don't hear this story, you don't have to know what the song is, well, what it was inspired from, to know that it's a very heartfelt song that tells you, hey, there's people out there that need help. You know, can you help them? Sometimes you can't. And sometimes it's a lost cause to try to help. But does that mean you shouldn't? No. But the song is so iconic that, you know, you don't need to know none of that. You just know that you can turn on Jeremy from Pearl Jam and you can rock out for the next few minutes. And it's an awesome feeling. You know, and Pearl Jam's still kicking ass today. That's why I say that it was, for a debut album, such a huge impact on the rock and roll world. And the fact that that song still stands so strong today, the guy's got to be proud of that. And, you know, for the family of Jeremy Wade Dell, you know, my heart goes out to him because it was years ago now. It's been years, but you can never really let a wound like that heal. But can you find those bright spots in life where, you know, okay, who is the person that I see on a daily basis that might be feeling the same way my Jeremy was, or your Jeremy was, or anybody's Jeremy is feeling? And what can I do to help? I encourage you, if there's anybody in your life that you know that is Jeremy today, please just make an attempt to reach out, talk, try to help. You cannot force nobody to do anything, but we can always reach a hand out and see if they want to take a hold. I love hearing just how songs came into existence, the inspiration of it, the meaning behind it, just everything about it. And what I really love is when it means something to me or to somebody, any song. Matter of fact, I just posted today on my community page, and if you are a subscriber or just somebody that's viewed some videos but you haven't subscribed yet, but if you haven't, please subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Also, like the video. But I posted something today, and I really want to also reiterate it right here on this video. If there is a song that has helped you through tough times, a rock song, got you through some crazy moment in life, something that is very meaningful to you, I would like you, and my email is posted on my channel, I would really love you. Send me your name, send me your story, send me the song. What happened in your life? What did this song mean to you? What did it get you through? And How special was it to you? And I would really love to tell your story. It's a new segment I hope to start, and it's going to be just a storytelling session, but I want to tell it from your view, the viewer, the person on the other side that is human just like me. I want to know that moment, and I want to know what song it was. I want to know the band. I want to know everything, and I will tell that. So please, go check out the community page. It has all the info on there, and definitely share your story with me so I can share it with the world. I will not use your real name unless you absolutely want me to. It'll be completely confidential, but you can tune in to hear me tell that story and how I feel about it, and hopefully other people can be inspired to let me know so I can tell their story. And one day, I'll even tell you one of mine. But you know what? Until next time, thank you for watching. Go out there, take care of your friends, your family, do something amazing. Something's going to inspire you. Don't let it go to waste. Turn it into something great, whatever that is. But we cannot do anything if we're timid, if we're scared, and we let people hold us back. So thank you. Till next time, take care of yourself. I'm out.